Have you ever heard of the people of the Red Earth? Today we're journeying back in time to Newfoundland, the easternmost edge of North America, to uncover the story of the Beothuk, the island's indigenous inhabitants. Their culture was unique, their history is poignant, and their memory deserves to be honored. The Beothuk were masters of their environment, a rugged land of dense forests, rocky coastlines, and powerful rivers. They were skilled hunter-gatherers, and their entire way of life was woven into the island's natural cycles. Their primary source of food, clothing, and tools was the caribou. Twice a year they would intercept the massive herds during their migrations. In the fall they'd hunt them as they moved from the northern peninsula to the interior forests. The Beothuk built clever funnel-like fences, sometimes stretching for miles, to guide the caribou into ambush points where they could be easily hunted. Every part of the animal was used. The meat was preserved for the long, harsh winter. The skins were turned into warm clothing and coverings for their homes, and the bones and antlers were crafted into essential tools and weapons. When spring arrived and the ice on the rivers began to break, the Beothuk would move to the coast. The ocean was their other great provider. They built impressive birch-bark canoes sturdy enough to navigate the coastal waters to hunt seals. Seals were a vital source of fat and oil, which was not only a rich food source but was also used for fuel. They also harvested the bounty of the rivers, setting up weirs to catch salmon as they swam upstream to spawn. This seasonal round, from the deep woods to the open sea, defined their existence. One of the most distinctive aspects of Beothuk culture was their use of red ochre. They would mix this iron-rich mineral with fish oil or animal fat to create a vibrant red paint. They applied this mixture to their bodies, their tools, their canoes, and even their burial sites. It held deep spiritual and cultural significance. This practice is actually how they got their name from European observers, who called them Red Indians, a term we now understand is both inaccurate and insensitive. The name Beothuk itself is believed to mean the people, or kinfolk, in their own language. Their homes, called mamatiks, were also unique. In the winter, these were cone-shaped dwellings built with poles and covered in sheets of birch bark. They were insulated with moss and built over a hollow in the ground for extra warmth. In the summer, their coastal homes were lighter and more rectangular. The Beothuk were a resourceful and highly adaptive people, creating a culture perfectly suited to the demanding environment of Newfoundland. Tragically, the arrival of European fishermen and settlers in the 16th century marked the beginning of the end for the Beothuk. Competition for resources, particularly along the coast where Europeans set up fishing stations, pushed the Beothuk further into the island's interior. This disrupted their traditional way of life, cutting them off from the vital marine resources they depended on. Diseases to which they had no immunity, like smallpox and tuberculosis, swept through their communities with devastating effect. Unlike some other indigenous groups, the Beothuk largely avoided contact with the Europeans, retreating whenever they approached. This isolation, coupled with increasing hostility and violent conflicts over land and resources, dwindled their population. By the early 19th century, only a few Beothuk remained. The story often ends with a woman named Shanodithit. Believed to be the last known full-blooded Beothuk, she was captured in 1823. She lived for 6 years in St. John's, where she worked with a local explorer named William Cormack. She created a series of remarkable drawings that provided invaluable insight into the language, culture, and customs of her people. Her sketches depicted their tools, their homes, their beliefs, and their final tragic encounters with settlers. Shanodithit died of tuberculosis in 1829, and with her, the living culture of the Beothuk people is considered to have vanished. But their story isn't just a historical footnote. It's a powerful reminder of the devastating impact of colonization. Today, the Beothuk are remembered through archaeological finds, historical records, and the incredible information left by Shanodithit. Their legacy lives on in the land they called home, and in the ongoing efforts to understand and respect their lost world. Remembering the Beothuk is not just about mourning a lost people, it's about acknowledging a complex and tragic part of our shared history. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this story important, please like this video and subscribe for more explorations into our past. See you next time.